let us begin with our discussion on the chapter of the company audit. Okay, and in company audit, we are going to be discussing a few sections like section 123, which is regarding the declaration and payment of the dividend. Then section 128, which is regarding the books of account, right? 129, which is regarding the financial statements. 130 and 131, which is regarding the reopening of the accounts and the revision of the financial statements and the board report. 132, damn interesting, it is regarding the NFRA, the National Financial Reporting Authority, right? It is regarding the NFRA, right? Then 133 is regarding accounting standards. 135 is regarding the, the corporate social responsibility. So that is okay. But main after this, our discussion mainly comes to 138, which is regarding the internal audit, which we will discuss in internal audit chapter and an internal audit. Then here we will start our discussion with 139, which is regarding the appointment of the company auditor. Then 140, which is regarding the removal of the company auditor. Then 141, which is regarding the qualifications and the disqualifications of the company auditor. 142, which is regarding the auditor's remuneration. Then 143, which is regarding the rights and duties of the company auditor. 144, auditor not to render certain services. Then 145, auditor to sign the audit report. 146, auditor to receive notice and attend the general meeting. 147, punishment for non-compliance. Right, 147, punishment for the non-compliance. And then you have the 148, which is regarding the cost audit. Right, 148, which is regarding the cost audit. Okay, right? So these are a few sections which we are going to address in this particular chapter. What is the weightage of this chapter? 1 to 2 questions are seen in the exam. Nowadays, which is doing very well in the MCQs is the dividend. MCQ part of the paper, what is doing very well over there is the section 123, which is regarding the declaration and payment of the dividend. And apart from that, please, if you could not talk, please. Yeah, those of you who are talking, okay, please don't talk. Okay, right. And apart from all these sections ka discussions over here, we also have a discussion regarding the LLP audit. So again, in the MCQ, they thought now where to put this LLP audit. So they say you will now go into the company audit chapter only, right? So at the end of the company audit chapter, you also find the discussion regarding the LLP audit, right? So very important for any chapter, every chapter which we study, we should have a control sheet. We should have a helicopter view of what is with that we are going to discuss in that particular chapter, right? So do we have a control sheet now regarding what we are going to discuss? We'll just slightly go through section 177 also. What is 177? It is regarding the audit committee, right? So we'll be also going through that particular section, right? So again, very interesting. Yes, once law is away from the syllabus, then all of this is only going to remain in audit, and now, right, still the time law there is there in the syllabus. These are the sections which you study in the law also, you understand. But what happens, no, these sections, they suffer a lot. These sections, they suffer a lot. Why? Because in audit you say it's there in law, in law you say that it is there in audit. That is how you don't study it anywhere. You understand? You say this was there in inter also, this was there in inter also, this is there in law also, like that. But did you ever study it over there, even though if it was over there, right? And law question coming, different question coming, audit question coming, different questions coming over there, right? So now let's come to the first section over there, section 141, which is regarding the qualifications and the disqualifications of the company auditor, right? Coming to section 141. Right, section 141, subsection 1 and 2 is regarding the qualifications of the company auditor. Okay, who can be appointed as an auditor of a company? Who can be appointed? An individual or a firm of chartered accountants, but firm where majority of the partners are the chartered accountants practicing in India. And then what does subsection 2 say? A firm includes an LLP, but only those partners of the LLPs who are chartered accountants, they can sign on behalf of the LLP. Right? So 141 subsection 1, what does it say? An individual chartered accountant or a firm, right, where majority of the partners are the chartered accountant. And what does 141(2) say? That a firm includes an LLP. That a firm includes an LLP, but only those partners of the LLP who are the chartered accountants can sign an act on behalf of the LLP, right? What are these? These are the qualifications of the company auditor. But more interesting than the qualifications and more exam oriented than the qualifications are the disqualifications of the company auditor, right? And we have the 9 disqualifications for the company auditor. Are you all with me? Right? So lot of case studies which we are going to study are regarding the disqualification. So 141 subsection 3. Are you all with me? Which is regarding the disqualifications of the company auditor. Okay. And you know, when we studied part 1 of first schedule, professional misconduct for CA in practice, 12 clauses over there. Before the 12 clauses, what was the common sentence we said? What was the common sentence we said? A chartered accountant in practice is deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he. Similarly, now when we discuss these 9 disqualifications of the company auditor, before these 9 disqualifications, we have a common sentence. A person shall not be eligible for appointment as an auditor of a company if, right? A person shall not be eligible for the appointment as an auditor of a company if. What does it say? First disqualification over there. It is a body corporate other than LLP. Right? Company form of organization. Can they do the audit of a company? No. Right? So body corporate other than the LLP. Right? So we said now companies not to engage in accountancy, and rather we had studied in ethics. Okay, if there is an LLP, but that LLP is having a company as a partner, then that LLP also cannot do the company audit. You remember that? If LLP is having a company as a partner, then that LLP also cannot do the company audit. Okay. Then 141(3)(b). What is it? Officer or employee of the company. Right? Officer or employee of the company. Okay. My sister is working in Growth Limited. Yes. Okay. Say employee of the company. Right? So say I am working in Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? I am working in Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? No, I cannot do the audit of the Growth Limited. Why? Because it says officer or employee of the company. And this also comes in ethics under related party. तो भाई कारों में है. You understand that? No. Okay, this also comes in ethics under clause 4 of part 1 of the second schedule, not to express opinion on financial statements where substantial interest is involved. Are you getting that? So if I am a lecturer in a college, can I do the audit of that college? No, I cannot do the audit of that college. Okay, right. I am working as an employee in the subsidiary of Growth Limited. Listen to me carefully. I am working as an employee in the subsidiary of Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? I am working as an officer, employee of the subsidiary of the Growth Limited. I am a director in the subsidiary of Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? I am an employee of a subsidiary of Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? No. Why? What was the sentence we studied? We studied one sentence. Public conscience is expected to be ahead of law, and the requirement of independence should be interpreted much more strictly. The auditor should not place himself in such a position which will jeopardize or which will compromise on the independence of the auditor. Okay, so as per company law, can I do the audit of a company where I am an employee of the subsidiary company? Yes, but really, practically, will I ever accept that audit? No. Why? Because public conscience is expected to be ahead of law. Okay, so if I am working in Growth Limited, can I do the audit of Growth Limited? If I am a director in Growth Limited, can I do the audit of Growth Limited? No. So what I do, I tell my partners, I tell my employees, okay, you do the audit of Growth Limited. Can my partners, my employees do the audit of Growth Limited? No. What does it say? A person who is a partner or who is in the employment. A person who is a partner or who is in the employment of an officer or employee of the company. Right, yes, officer or employee of the company. So partner of an officer, partner of an employee, employee of an officer, or employee of an employee of the company. Right, so simple. If I am a director in Growth Limited, can I do the audit of growth? No, I am disqualified under 141(3)(b). Can my partner, my employees do the audit of growth? No, they are disqualified under 141(3)(c). So directly, indirectly, we cannot do the audit of growth. I say, okay, I am the director, so let my partners do the audit or let my employees do the audit. It says no, you can't do the audit under 141(3)(b). Your partner employee cannot do the audit under the 141(3)(c). And now coming to the most important one, 141(3)(d). Right, now coming to the most important one, that is 141(3)(d). What is the common sentence before 141(3)(d)? A person shall not be eligible for appointment as an auditor of a company if, right, he, that is the person, right, or the partner or the relative, right, person, partner, relative. Right, now let us look into the definition of the relative. Right, let us look into the definition of the relative. One, relative includes members of the Hindu undivided family. Right, members of the Hindu undivided family. Right, then apart from that, what does it say? Member and the spouse. Right, the chartered accountant, the person and the spouse. And then apart from that, father, mother, brother, sister, son, daughter, son's wife, and daughter's husband. Right, so what does it say? Father, mother, right, then brother, sister, right, then the son and the daughter, right, and son also the son's wife, and daughter also the daughter's husband, right, also the daughter's husband. Right, father includes stepfather, mother includes stepmother, brother includes stepbrother, sister includes stepsister, son includes stepson, but daughter does not include stepdaughter. Right, and son's wife and daughter's husband cannot be step. Son's wife and daughter's husband, they cannot be step. They are anyways outsiders who've come into your family, so don't make them step or anything. You understand that, right? Daughter is not, stepdaughter is not included in the definition of the relative. So what does it say? Person, partner, or the relative. Right? Person, partner, or the relative. Are you all with me? Right? Person, partner, or the relative. Partner means the partners of my firm. Right, so person, partner, or the relative holds any. Now 141(3)(d)(1, 141(3)(d)(2, 141(3)(d)(3). What is 141(3)(d)(1? Person, partner, or the relative holds any security of or interest in. Holds any security of or interest in. Now, for the purpose of 141(3)(d), we have 5 companies. That means if I want to do the audit of Growth Limited, I cannot hold the shares of Growth Limited. I cannot hold the shares of the holding company of Growth Limited. I cannot hold the shares of the subsidiary company of Growth Limited. I cannot hold the shares of the associate company of Growth Limited or any other subsidiary of that holding company. I cannot hold the shares. Are you understanding that? If I have to do the audit of growth, can I hold a share of growth? No. Can I hold a share of the holding company of growth? No. Subsidiary company of growth? No. Associate company of growth? No. Any other subsidiary of that holding company? No. Right? So person, partner, relative holds any security of or interest in company, holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, or any other subsidiary of that holding company. Right? So person, partner, relative, 5 companies. Do you know the 5 companies now? Company, holding, subsidiary, associate, and any other subsidiary of that holding company. However, relative can hold the security up to the face value of rupees 1 lakh, right? Relative can hold the securities up to the face value of rupees 1 lakh in the company. Okay, now my brother, yes, my brother is holding the 20,000 face value shares. My brother is holding the 20,000 rupees face value shares in the subsidiary of Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? My brother is holding the 20,000 face value shares of the, confidence should be good. It should not be detrimental. Okay, right? My brother is holding the 20,000 face value shares of the subsidiary of Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? No. Relative can hold the security only up to the face value of rupees 1 lakh in the company. The exception for the relative to hold the security up to the face value of rupees 1 lakh is only for the company. It is not for holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, or any other subsidiary of that holding company. Are you understanding that? Okay, right. Now, yes, no talking in the class. Okay, right. Now listen further. What does it say? Oh, if relative is holding shares of face value exceeding rupees 1 lakh in the company, you cannot be appointed as an auditor of that company. Right? So say the CA is working in a big four, doing audit of a listed entity and so, and every day coming late from office. Late from office means coming at sunrise time, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning and so. Again going office 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so now spouse gets irritated. She says like, what is this? So much of work and no. And spouse also happens to be a chartered accountant. She knows, disqualification of company auditor. Next day morning she gets up and what she does, she purchases share of 1,20,000 face value. And when she's serving the tea to the husband, at the same time also says, see this particular piece of paper. You understand? Okay. Now says, go to office. Okay. Now 141.4. Any of the this can be a weapon, no, which can be used. You understand now for disqualification. Right. So now if relative exceeds the limit, and a relative has they exceeded the limit? Yes, if relative exceeds the limit, it says the corrective action is to be taken within the 60 days, right? If relative, if member, can they exceed the limit? Impossible. They cannot hold a share only. Partner, can they hold the share? Impossible. They cannot hold a share only. But for relative, if they exceed the limit, then the corrective action can be taken within 60 days. Okay. My father is holding 80,000 face value shares in Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? My father is holding 80,000 face value shares of Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? Yes. Okay. Now say Growth Limited comes up with a bonus issue 1:1. That is why the shares of my father, which were of face value 80,000, they became 1 lakh 60,000. So again, in this case, what does it say? Corrective action to be taken within 60 days. And so the benefit of taking the corrective action within 60 days is only for the relative. Yes, and that too relative can hold the shares only in the company. Are you understanding that? Person, partner or the relative. Everybody with me? Okay, right. Give your opinion on whether the following persons can be appointed as an auditor of a limited company or not. A firm of CAs in practice, a partner of which is a secretary of the company. Or if he is a secretary of the company, that means he is an officer employee of the company. And once he is an officer employee of the company, he cannot be appointed as an auditor. Then a member of the ICAI holding a okay, second one, a member of the ICAI who is of unsound mind holding a COP. Unsound mind, had we studied somewhere? Disabilities for membership. But there what we had said, unsound mind and stands so adjudged by a competent court, that the court also says that he is of unsound mind. Just normally anybody saying that he is of unsound mind will not make him disqualified to be appointed as an auditor. A member of the ICI holding a COP can be appointed as an auditor of the company even if he is of unsound mind, provided he has not been adjudged a man of unsound mind by a competent court. So long he has not been adjudged a man of unsound mind by the competent court, he may be so appointed. Are you understanding question number 1, everyone? Yes, coming to question number 2. Ajay, a CA has been appointed as an auditor of Bharat Limited in the AGM of the company held in September 2019, which assignment he accepted. Subsequently, in February 2020, he joined Mr. Bajaj, another CA, who is the manager finance of Bharat Limited as a partner. Right? So now, what does it say? Partner is a officer or employee. So 141(3)(c). You understand? Partner is an officer or the employee. So that comes under 141(3)(c). Right. And now what are we studying over here? 141(3). We are going to study 9 disqualification. You know, 141(3)(c). We are going to be studying the 9 disqualification. And what does 141(4) say? That if any of the disqualification, see, none of these disqualification should be attracted as on the date of the appointment. If any of the disqualification is attracted as on the date of the appointment, what does it say? Your appointment is null and void. The existing auditor shall continue to be the auditor of the company. Yes, so none of these, if as on the date of appointment, I am an officer of the company, my appointment is null and void. Okay, but when I was appointed as an auditor of the company, I did not hold a single equity share. So am I qualified to be appointed as an auditor? Yes. Next day morning, I purchased 1 equity share. So now what has happened? Disqualification is attracted after appointment. So if any of the disqualification under 141(3) is attracted, is attracted after appointment, the auditor shall vacate his office, and such vacation shall be deemed to be a casual vacancy in the office of the auditor. So vacate, vacation, vacancy. Right? If any of the disqualification is attracted after appointment, the auditor shall vacate his office, and such vacation shall be deemed to be a casual vacancy in the office of the auditor. Are you able to follow this, everyone? Right? If any of the disqualification is attracted after appointment. Okay. Right. So that is why whenever I write 141(3)(c) or any of the points over there, just a minute. Right, if I write any of the, disqualifications over there, after any of the disqualification, what I also need to write is the 141(4). What is 141(4)? If any of the disqualification is attracted after appointment, he shall vacate his office, and such vacation shall be deemed to be a casual vacancy in the office of the auditor. And then what you need, these are the provisions which you need to write over there. And then after that, say, in the given case. Right, what has happened, and therefore the CA has to vacate his office as an auditor. Right, so just give me a moment till the time the file opens. Right, so what does it say? In the present case, Ajay, an auditor of the Bharat Limited, joined as a partner with Bajaj, who is the manager finance of Bharat Limited. The given situation has attracted the provisions of 141(3)(c), and therefore he shall have deemed to have vacated his office as an auditor of Bharat Limited, as the disqualification is attracted after appointment. Are you all with me? Yes. Next one, question number 3. R&M is an audit firm having partner R, M, and G. S is the relative of R, holding shares of STP Company Limited having a face value of 1,51,000. Whether CAR and CAM are qualified to be appointed as an auditor of STP Company. Yes, are they qualified to be appointed? So RMG, 3 partner. Out of that, what does it say? S is the relative of R, and R ka relative is holding the shares of the face value 1,51,000. So can the other two, yes, what does it say? Can R and M be appointed as an auditor? No. What does it say? Any one of the partner disqualified, the entire firm is disqualified from being appointed as an auditor. So now, whenever a question comes regarding 141 3D1, is it what we are discussing right now? 141 3D1, everybody, 141 3D1. Do I need to write this much in detail as per 141 3D1? Not required. Yes, you can manage up to 141 3D. Okay. You can manage 141 3. Okay. You can manage section 141. Okay. Or say as per the relevant provisions of the Companies Act 2013. How much ever possible for you, write that much. Okay. Right. Now what does it say over here? As per section 141 3D1 of the Companies Act 2013, read along with rule 10 of the Company Audit and Auditor Rule 2014. What is the common sentence? A person shall not be eligible for appointment as an auditor of a company if he or his relative or his partner, he, his relative or his partner is holding any security of or interest in which companies? 5 companies. Company, subsidiary, holding, associate, or a subsidiary of such holding company. However, what is the exception? Provided that relative may hold the security or interest in the company of a face value not exceeding rupees 1 lakh. Right? In the given case, R&M is an audit firm and relative is holding face value 1,51,000. Therefore, R&M audit firm along with its partners will be disqualified for appointment as an auditor as the relative of R is holding the securities in STP Limited, which is exceeding the limit mentioned in the proviso to section 141 3D1. Therefore, R and M will be disqualified to be appointed as an auditor of STP Limited. Are you getting? So see, you know the provision, but if a question comes in the exam, how the answer is to be written, what is the theory, what is the provision I need to write in the answer, then what is in the given case, then what is the last line to be written in the answer. This also simultaneously you have to see. You understand, no? When they weave a particular cloth, they take some lines vertically and some lines horizontally, and only then a cloth can be woven. No, only then a fabric is prepared. So you can't just study the theory separately and the question separately over there. Right, now next one. XXX, a practicing CA, has been offered for appointment as an auditor of Z Limited, a leading company. Later on, YYY, the stepbrother of X, purchased securities of the company of face value 89,000. Comment whether X may accept the offer of an appointment as an auditor. Yes, can he accept the offer as an appointment as an auditor of the company? Yes. Okay, so 141 3D1. Again, whenever variety of question comes, which is the important question for us? The first one. Because that first question, I will write down the provision over there. After that, what I started doing? Refer section 141 3D1 in answer above. Then in the present situation, the stepbrother of X is holding securities having face value 89,000 in Z Limited. It may be noted that, see, so systematic. It may be noted that stepbrother is included in the definition of the term relative. However, the proviso to 141 3D1 of the Act allows a relative of the auditor to hold securities of the face value not exceeding 1 lakh. Here, holding securities by the relative of X is below the limit as prescribed under the said proviso. Therefore, X may accept the offer of appointment as an auditor of Z Limited. Okay, right. Question number 5. Pratik, a practicing CA, has been appointed as an auditor of Opus Limited. He is holding securities of the company of 89,000. Out. And Pratik, a practicing CA, has been appointed as an auditor. He is holding the security. He cannot hold a single equity share. You are required to state whether Pratik is qualified to be appointed as an auditor. And would your answer be different? Instead of Pratik, Mr. Kuresh, the stepfather of Pratik, is holding the security. If stepfather is holding the security, then he would be qualified to be appointed as an auditor, right? So again, 141(3)(d)(1). Then the definition of the term relative. Then in the present situation, Pratik is holding the security which is not allowed as per the provisions of section 141(3)(d)(1). So Pratik will be disqualified. Kuresh, the stepfather of Pratik, is holding the security. Stepfather is included in the definition of the relative. However, relative can hold the security of face value not exceeding 1 lakh. Kuresh is holding securities of face value 89,000, which is below the limit as prescribed under the said proviso. Therefore, Pratik will not be disqualified to be appointed as an auditor of Opus Limited. Are you able to follow this, everyone? Okay, next one. Question number 6. Comment on the validity of the appointment of A as an auditor of ABC in the following situation. B, a partner of A, held shares of face value of 1 lakh in DEF Limited, the holding company of ABC Limited, and Mr. B has sold the securities after a period of 45 days from the date of appointment of Mr. A as an auditor of ABC Limited. Right, so B a partner of A, है ना? So B is a partner. So A and B are two partners in a firm, right? So A and B, what happened in the given situation? It's B, a partner of A, held shares of face value of 1 lakh in DEF Limited, है ना? So B held how much? Face value of 1 lakh shares in DEF Limited, which is the right holding company of ABC Limited, which is the holding company of the ABC Limited. Okay, then what does it say? B has sold the security after a period of 45 days from the date of appointment of A as an auditor of ABC Limited. No, what did we say? Person, partner, they cannot hold the share in the 5 companies. है ना? 0. They cannot hold any share in the 5 companies. Okay, and now what is happening? Partner is holding the share in the holding company. So is the firm disqualified to be appointed as an auditor? Yes. Right, then corrective action, that benefit is only there for the relative. That benefit is not there for the partner. Okay, so according to section 141(3)(d)(1), a person is disqualified to be appointed as an auditor if he or his partner or relative holds security in the 5 companies, right? Then what does it say? Permits relative alone to hold the shares in the company up to rupees 1 lakh. It also provides a time limit of 60 days to correct the situation where disqualification would otherwise incur. As such, when a partner holds the security in holding company of the company in which A is to be appointed as an auditor, there is the disqualification for Mr. A to be appointed as an auditor, and subsequent disposal of the share is having no relevance. He said now after 45 days he sold the share. It says that is not having any relevance. Right, so is it clear to everyone till here? 141(3)(d)(1). Okay, right. Now coming further to 141(3)(d)(2). What does it say? Person, partner, relative is indebted. Again, indebted to how many companies? Indebted to the 5 company. Company, holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, any other subsidiary of that holding company. However, what is allowed? It says person, partner, relative indebtedness up to rupees 5 lakh is allowed in all the 5 companies, or has given a guarantee, right? Again, in all the 5 companies, all the 3 people, person, partner, relative, exceeding rupees 1 lakh. So up to rupees 1 lakh is allowed. So indebtedness up to rupees 5 lakh for person, partner, relative in all the 5 companies all put together allowed. And guarantee for all the 3, person, partner, relative in all the 5 company, guarantee up to rupees 1 lakh is allowed. And a guarantee up to rupees 1 lakh is allowed. Are you getting that? 141(3)(d). Right? Person, partner, relative holds any security of or interest in or has provided a guarantee or has given a or as indebtedness or has given a guarantee, right? So if I look over here, 141(1), 141(2), this is the qualifications of the company auditor, and after the qualifications you have the Disqualifications: body corporate other than LLP, officer, employee. Officer includes director, manager, KMP, key managerial personnel, and the shadow directors. Who is a shadow director? Who is accustomed to act in accordance with the directions of another director of the company. Okay, just for namesake, it is shown that you are the director, but you don't take any decision on your own. Whatever some another person tells you, based on that you take the decision. So that's called as a shadow director. Right? So shadow director. Then what does it say? A person who is a partner or who is in the employment of an officer or employee of the company, or a person who or his relative or his partner holds any security of or interest in the 5 companies. However, relative can hold the security up to rupees 1 lakh. If relative exceeds the limit, corrective action can be taken within 60 days. Then you also have the definition of the relative, right? What does it say? Up to the face value of rupees 1 lakh. Yes, the limit is only for the relative. It is not for the auditor or the partner. Grace period of 60 days has been given, right? And it is only for the company, not for holding subsidiary, associate or so. Right, that is 141 3D1. Are you all with me? That is one. I'm just showing you whatever we've already discussed. That is 141 3D1. What is 141 3D2? Is indebted to again 5 companies. Which are the 5 companies? Company, subsidiary, holding, associate, or a subsidiary of such holding company in excess of 5 lakh. That means up to rupees 5 lakh allowed, and has given a guarantee or provided any security in the connection of the indebtedness of any third person to again 5 companies. Company, subsidiary, holding, associate, or a subsidiary of such holding company in excess of rupees 1 lakh. Right, so direct indebtedness and the indirect indebtedness. What does it say? Person shall be disqualified if he or his relative or his partner is indebted to the 5 company. And what does it say? If he has provided any guarantee or provided any security, in that case also he will be disqualified to be appointed as an auditor. For the indebtedness also, which is direct indebtedness, and second one is for the guarantee. Again, in that case, exceeding rupees 1 lakh, he will be disqualified to be appointed as an auditor. Okay, then coming to 141(3)(e). Right, now coming to 141(3)(e). What is 141(3)(e)? It says a person or a firm. Right, a person or a firm. Right, a person or a firm is having a business relationship. A person or a firm is having a business relationship, but now business relationship with 6 companies. Oh my God. Right? Business relationship with the 6 companies. Now, which is the company which gets added over here? 141(3)(e). For this purpose, you have 6 companies. Which is the 6th company? Company, holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, any other subsidiary of that holding company? Yes. And what gets added over there? Any other subsidiary of the associate company. So subsidiary of associate also gets added for the purpose of 141(3)(e). Subsidiary of associate also gets added for the purpose of the 141(3)(e). So if I have to do the audit of Growth Limited, I should not have a business relationship with Growth Limited, holding, subsidiary, associate, any other subsidiary of that holding company, or any other subsidiary of the associate company. Also, I should not be having a business relationship. Are you understanding that? A person or a firm is having a business relationship with 6 companies. Are you getting that? Okay. However, we have the exceptions. What is the exception over there? Right, what is the exceptions over there in 141(3)(e)? It says you can have a business relationship, 1, for rendering the professional services, commercial transactions for rendering the professional services as mentioned under the Chartered Accountants Act. Right, commercial transactions for rendering the professional services. Like, if I am the statutory auditor of the company, can I do the tax audit of the company? If I am the statutory auditor of the company, can I do the tax audit of the company? Yes. But had this, had this exception not been there, you would have said, oh, that's a professional, that's a business relationship. So it says commercial transactions for rendering professional services, that business relationship is allowed. Are you understanding that? Okay. Then when the draft of Company Law 2013 had come, and in that draft it was written 141(3)(e). What was 141(3)(e)? A person or a firm is having any business relationship. What did that mean? Okay, if I want to do the audit of the DTDC, the courier company, I cannot send a courier by DTDC. Why? Because it will lead to business relationship. Right. Then if I want to do the audit of the Marriott Hotel, I cannot go for lunch over there. Why? Because again, it will lead to a business relationship. Right. If I want to do the audit of Indigo Airlines, I cannot travel by Indigo Airlines because it will lead to a business relationship. If I want to do the audit of Apollo Hospitals, I cannot go there for a medical checkup because it will lead to a business relationship. Auditor says you are making our life miserable. And because any of these will constitute to be a business relationship. So that is why then they got the second exception over there. What is the second exception over there? It says commercial transactions as a customer, right? The commercial transactions as a customer, commercial transactions in the ordinary course of business, that too at the arm's length price, and that too as the customer, only as the customer, not as a lessee, lessor, supplier or any other, only as a customer. What does it say? Allowed. So two exceptions to 141(3)(e). What are the two exceptions? One, commercial transactions for rendering the professional services as mentioned under the Chartered Accountants Act. And second, the commercial transactions which are rendered in the ordinary course of business, that too at the arm's length price, and that too only as a customer. Right, only as a customer. That is 141(3)(e). What is 141(3)(e)? A person or a firm is having directly or indirectly any business relationship now with six companies. Which is the sixth company which gets added over there? The subsidiary of the associate company also gets added. However, which commercial transactions are allowed to be entered? One, for rendering the professional services, and second, in the ordinary course of business at the arm's length price, and that too as a customer. In the ordinary course of business by companies engaged in the business of the telecommunication, airline, hospital, hotel, and such other similar business. Otherwise, like again, if I want to do the audit of Airtel, I cannot have a telephone connection or a mobile card of Airtel. Right, so it says only as a customer it will be allowed. Are you getting that? Right, then after that you have the 141(3)(f). What is 141(3)(f)? Relative is a director or is in the employment as a relative is a director or is in the employment as a director or a key managerial personnel of the company. Right, relative is a director or is in the employment as a director or a key managerial personnel of the company. Right, so if my brother is a director in the company, can I do the audit of that company? No. Substantial interest, no. And also 412, not to express opinion where substantial interest is involved. My brother is a director in the subsidiary of Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? My brother is a director in the subsidiary of Growth Limited. Can I do the audit of Growth Limited? Yes. Yes. What does it say over here? Right, relative is a director or is in the employment as a director or a key managerial personnel of the company. Then you cannot be appointed as an auditor of the company. That is 141(3)(f). Right, then 141(3)(g) I've already discussed with you. What is 141(3)(g)? CA is in full-time employment elsewhere. Right, CA is in full-time employment elsewhere, or he's already exceeded the ceiling of the 20 company audits. However, while counting this limit of 20 company audits, which are the audits which are not to be counted? excluding the audits of the one-person company, small company, dormant company, and the private companies having paid up share capital of less than 100 crore, provided there is no default in the filing of the financial statements and the annual return. Right, so CA in full-time employment, out. No company audit for you. And you're already doing the audit of 20 company, out. You cannot do any more audits. But while counting this limit of 20, which are the audits which are not to be counted? One-person company, small company, dormant company, private company having paid up share capital of less than 100 crore, provided there is no default in the filing of the financial statements and the annual return. Are you understanding this, everyone? Okay, right. Then we had also studied total limit is 30. You remember guidelines, ethics. Only sky is the limit for one-person company and the dormant company. For the one-person company and the dormant company, for that sky is the limit. Otherwise, what is the limit? 30, है ना, as per the council guidelines. Okay. Then 141(3)(h). What is 141(3)(h)? A person has been convicted by a court for an offense involving fraud and a period of 10 years has not elapsed from the date of such conviction. Right, person convicted by a court for an offense involving fraud and a period of 10 years has not elapsed from the date of such conviction. Right, so once a person does a fraud, he should ensure that whatever fraud he does, that at least next 10 years he should not be required to work. Okay, right. A person convicted by a court for an offense involving fraud and a period of 10 years has not elapsed. Why? Because next 10 years company audit, they say no company audit for you. Okay, and the last one, which is 141(3)(I). What does it say? A person or, yes, a person directly or indirectly, right, provides any of these services specified under section 144 to 3 companies. So now for the purpose of 141(3)(I), right, now for the purpose of 141(3)(I), we have 3 companies. Which 3 company? Company, holding company, and the subsidiary company. Right, for the purpose of 141(3)(I), we have 3 companies. Which 3 company? Company, holding company, and the subsidiary company. Are you all able to follow what this? Right, 141(3)(D), 5 companies. 141(3)(E), 6 companies. 141(3)(I), 3 companies. Right, a person directly or indirectly provides the section 144 services to 3 companies. Which are the 3 companies? Company, holding company, and the subsidiary company. Right, so if I take a bird's eye view of this chart, right, does this have covered the entire discussion regarding the disqualification of the company auditor? Right, does it cover A, B, C, D, E, F, and the G, H, I? Do you notice body corporate? Right, officer or employee, person who is a partner or who is in the employment, security, indebtedness guarantee, business relationship, relative is a director, full-time employment or 20 company audit, convicted by a court, or providing the 144 services to 3 companies. Right, we need to look into a little bit more of detail. So we'll see that. We'll also see the question bank, complete with this chapter tomorrow, and also do the next chapter on the liabilities of the auditor. Right, so waiting to see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.